In this video, I part the sea as everybody crashes right in front of me. And look at this, down the middle as I get a bit of a helping hand. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now, it's starting quite differently here because originally I had edited the video. It had 4 races in, lots of details about Daily Race C and the fact they didn't have a pit stop. So is there anything that could compete against it? You'll have noticed by the thumbnail and the title, that's what we're talking about as well. So Daily Race C has been changed. It now requires 1 pit stop, so you can pit. You don't have to change tyres if you don't want to. Highly recommend you do change tyres, and we're going to look at the reason why they changed it in this video. That's the whole point of it. So I've deleted a couple of races that I did in the BMW. I've kept some of the races in the other cars I did try in terms of trying to beat the BMW and whether they can compete with it. Let's jump into what I filmed yesterday, and then we'll get into the Daily Race C as it now is. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video where we're trying out the Toyota Supra GT 500. Yes, we are trying out this car. Now, if you're not subscribed already, please do. And if you do enjoy this video, hit the like button as well. It all helps the channel out and helps me understand what you actually like. Right, why are we in this car, first of all? Well, if you've been watching the car profiles, you know this car is the best at tyre wear in the car profile test. So let's try it out in a tyre wear race, shall we? And that's what we're going to try and do here. Can our tyres survive to the end? And can we keep up with the BMWs in terms of race pace and therefore have a good race and potentially find a new meta car? Jump aboard Kelster at the end of lap 1, who gets tapped into Levitías here. Kelster's now on the outside of the circuit, 3 wide through there, and unfortunately Kelster bullied out. The child is bullied out off the circuit. That's unfortunate for Kelster, it really is, as we jump back on board myself then and continue on here. We've got Mario Sola up ahead. Lewis has backed off there. I'm not sure whether Lewis thought he was responsible for that. I'm not too sure. But even so, we've gained another place here as, another Nissan just ran out wide there. Another position gained here. This race is so aggressive in the first few laps. It really is. Everybody, it feels like they are the fastest. So there's side-by-side action absolutely everywhere. It's good fun, to be fair, but you do have to be so cautious in places. You really do. And you'll see that in this video as well. The way through that left-hander, we are surviving so far. We're keeping up with the pack. But we advance further on into lap 2. We're on board Cicciolino here, fighting Benjamia on the right side. The sprint model versus endurance model. And as we go into the chicane here, they just take a little bit too much there. Slight tap with the other BMW, and they head off into the gravel. That's not good, and unfortunately, they're going to drop to the back of the pack. And you can see there, I'm still behind Mario Sola in that Corvette. Well, lap number 3 then here. We've got Kelster, who's catching up very quickly in that Genesis as we head down here. This is actually race number 2, by the way. I'll talk about race number 1 a little bit later on, and you will see it as we go into the chicane. And I tried to outbrake Kelster. It wasn't working. Kelster nailed it beautifully. I will get my words out there. And actually gets another position there from Piscary up ahead. So 2 positions in 1 go. Not too shabby, Kelster. Not too shabby at all. So Kelster's on a mission here to catch back up. Now, I will say this. The race pace of the Supra is definitely not as good as that BMW at all. So I'm hoping the tyres really come into their own here. Lewis is right behind me there then. Gives me a bit of a bump draft here as we head towards the double right-hander. Now, there is one benefit to this car, the Castrol Tom Supra. It's very fast in a straight line. Like, extremely fast in a straight line. We're about to witness that speed right now. And we know this as well from the car profiles, from the speed trap we have at Bathurst. Now, there is going to be a big update on car profiles, so make sure you are subscribed. And you can check out that video on Friday this week. I'm not sure what that date is. It'll be the 3rd of May, actually. Right, we're going to head down here then, and we're catching that GTR very quickly. Lewis gives me a bump draft as well as we go in towards the chicane. Can we get this move done then? In towards the left we go. The GTR still on the right, so we leave them just enough room there. Look at that, beautiful racing as we continue on out there. We get the job done, and the Beamer on the inside as well. The GTR got mugged. Absolutely mugged there, the GTR, but hey, we'll take it. Lewis is catching me up here in that BMW. That BMW is so strong now. I am a bit confused with the bop, if I'm brutally honest. I really am. I'm going to let off here and let Lewis go. I don't really want to fight this too much, as I'll fight later on in the race if my tyres are better than the BMWs. And that's the point of this video. Is there another car we can use other than the M6? That is the big old question. So, lap number 9 then. We've dropped off a little bit here. They're obviously still fighting up ahead then as we continue on. Oh, hello. Oh, Kelster's off to the left inside. Must be a big penalty that to be so slow there as we go up here then. Through the left we go, and we just understeer off. Now, notice there how I tried in all my power to slow the car down to make sure I didn't get a penalty. Well, unfortunately, I still went quicker than the game deems fair, so I still get the penalty even though I slowed down massively. It is a bit frustrating that. I'm looking forward to when Sophie gets involved in the penalties. I feel that might actually benefit Gran Turismo a lot, and I will explain that in a separate video in terms of Sophie. Through the left, there we go, and we're just struggling a little bit with understeer here. That front left still not surviving. It survived better than the BMWs, but it's still not lasting long enough here, and Kelster's gone clean on through there in the Genesis. Another good move by Kelster as we head towards the end of the race, and this is the final lap as we go through here. That front left completely gone now, so we are struggling. This car does struggle in terms of race pace then, with a little bit of understeer. Without that front left, it's even more understeer than normal, so we've just lost the same amount as the BMW, so we've really just given ourselves a handicap, to be honest with you. But Kelster round the outside and Mario Sola, really good move there as we go into this right-hander. And remember what I said earlier on in this video, this car is very, very, very good in a straight line. Let's witness how good in a straight line, shall we? So we're in the slipstream right now of that Corvette. We move towards the right-hand side here, and this car just keeps on pulling. That turbo keeps that high. Look at the pressure, very high there. Kelster also gives me a bit of slipstream. Thank you, Kelster. I appreciate that. So we go into the chicane and exit out there. We're going to head towards the line, and Kelster decides to bin it on the line, and we finish in absolutely nowhere. Yeah, so this the Supra GT500, the Castrol Tom Supra, not really very good at all. So what we will do is jump to the next race then. We'll try a different car. So the front tyre keeps going, so I was like, well, let's try the best MR car in my tyre test. At the moment, that is the McLaren 650S. So that was the old bop, not the current bop, although I think it's been bopped again. Lots of bopping going on. That's what I will say in terms of the car profiles being able to keep up. You may see me keep hitting that pause button on the start line. I kept getting the force feedback issue at the start, weirdly, but a pause and it fixes itself, which is all very well and good then. So nobody binned it here at the, well, in the first sector, which is unusual. There's normally at least one bin, but even so, there's a long train of cars here. And Kelster's chosen the Volkswagen Beetle. Brave choice there by Kelster, but let's see what Kelster does here. We're going to go through this right. Oh, hello, everyone's off absolutely everywhere, and that car being ghosted absolutely scared me at the time. I remembered that bit. I forgot how many cars actually binned it there, but 3 of them did. So we gained 3 spots. We've got Digit up ahead. You can check out Digit on YouTube, of course. There's some fantastic videos and streams as well as we head down here then towards the chicane. Anywhere to go here? I was thinking about sending it down the outside, but nowhere really to go, and this McLaren's kind of wide. So we have to overslow the car here because there is a train up ahead of cars. What we are going to do, though, is look at the incident then. So we're on board Mike here in Nissan GTR. Let's look up ahead then. Oh, everyone just hits each other, and the ping pong effect comes into play. Sends everybody absolutely... Oh, hello. What are you doing there? They binned it some other way. We'll jump to them then. Let's have a look at how they binned it then. So into the second right-hander we go. RCZ by Marino. That's a brave choice as well, but we're both trying MRs. Oh, clip the grass and goes for a spin. F. Big old F with that one, and all the cars go clean on through because we're ghosted. Right, okay, lap 2 then. Here we go. We've got more action as we continue on. Levitius had a bit of a slow corner there. Let's jump to some chase cam just to see what Levitius does here. Good to this right. I nearly understeered into Levitius. I did back out of that. Just move ourselves to the other side. Dino was having a look down the outside there. Decided against it and backed out of it. Some really good smart decisions from everybody there, and we all survived, which is always great here as we advance to lap number 4 then. Some action still happening. The McLaren can keep up here. Now, I started this race on +5 brake balance. I'm on weak ABS as well, for those interested. I will put that in the description constantly in future videos, just so you know what ABS setting I'm using in which scenario. And in all this video, in all the cars I use, I am using weak ABS. But getting back to the car, the McLaren is pretty quick here, to be honest with you. It's not too far off the BMW. It's strong in some places, not strong in others. It can't beat the BMW in a straight line, though. That BMW is rapid again now. Again, I'm really confused by the bop, to be honest with you, because I think it was in a perfect situation with the previous one, but there we go. We did get on the inside of Mike here. Look at this. That was a quick dart to the inside. Because this McLaren's MR, it's so settled on the exit of the chicane, I was always going to go for that move. That's what I did, folks. That's what I did, and it worked out a charm. We're up into P11 now. Now, you may have noticed that rear left tyre is wearing quite quickly here as we go to lap number 6. It's just above half with about half of the race to go. So, and tyres wear more the later on in the race you go, just because it slides more. Got less grip, the rear slides more. Bit of a problem. So I did start to make the brake balance go a bit more forward. So I think I went to +2, sorry, at one point. And eventually I went to -2. But we'll see how we go in terms of making that tyre last here. And look at the runner here on the GTR. So the McLaren's still quick. That BMW is even quicker. Everyone Slayer's just backed out of this. I can see why. Just wanting to let me go, not lose any time here, and potentially use a slipstream to catch up to the battle ahead with Digit and Shadow. So we're going to go down here. I have no idea why I short shifted there. I will be honest with you. A bit of a brain fart moment. We all have them. That was apparently a brain fart moment. And you can see here, F1 Slayer's catching me up here. Doesn't go for the move. Just a little bump draft there. I appreciate that. Thank you. As we go into this right-hander, looking to get the car turned. And continue on here towards lap 9 then. Shadow up ahead. Digits got past Shadow here. Shadow also in an MR car. Everyone's trying MR cars in this race. Through the right we go then. And that Alfa Romeo looks like they're struggling. If you did see the weekly race guide, of course, you did see Shadow in that one. Fortunately, not for very long. And it was in the bloopers. In the same car, the Alfa Romeo. But make sure you do check out that weekly race guide. Now, we do have a run on this Alfa Romeo. That can be quite a quick car. It's also a very stable car on the rear end, so maybe it can work with tyres. I'm not too sure. We'll see how we go here. The BMW looking to try and get by as well. Levitius as we go into this braking zone. Shadow sends it around the outside, stops it nicely. I was going to go for a cutback here, but I had to slow up. But then Levitius hit me. It's no one's fault there at all. Nobody's fault. It was just a case of Shadow defended it, and I wasn't expecting it, so I slowed down. Levitius wasn't expecting me to do that either, so we all just slowed down and hit each other weirdly. It was a very bizarre moment, like a good sportsmanship moment. It's always nice to see, isn't it? You hit somebody because you're being too good of a sportsman. Well, hey, there we go. That's what happened at the chicane. We're back behind Shadow here. Shadow's definitely struggling on those rear tyres. And here we got Levitius, and gives us a bit of a bump draft. And you can check out Levitius on Twitch and YouTube. Confirmed it in the last video I mentioned. Levitius confirmed does YouTube as well as we go into the braking zone then. Now, Levitius is in that BMW M6 Sprint model. I have done a video on the M6 Sprint versus the Endurance model. There is a tiny bit of a difference. It's well worth checking out that video. I'll try and remember to link it at the end. If I don't, just have a bit of a search on the car profiles and it should be there for you. It's called the M6s. Unfortunately, going into this left-hander, we lose the rear end. And if you look down in that bottom left-hand side, it's because we've got no left rear tyre. So it's completely gone at this point. We can't really get to the end here on the McLaren. So, and you can see there, the oversteer has really kicked in. So we can't really do it. It's looking like that BMW is the only real car to use here. And it's because it's so good on the full, well, 0% wear tyre, essentially. It's got no wear and it can still go around the circuit quite well. As we come into the pits now, put softs on. I'm just going to have a bit of fun towards the end of the race. I did try and go for a faster slap, but my tyres weren't warmed up enough. We nearly got it, just not quite there. And you can see there, BMW M6 is all the way at the front. So it is what it is there with that one. So I thought, do you know what? Well, I interrupt myself there because I did go do some BMW races. One of those is going to be looked at in a separate video. We're going to look at moves and overtakes and things like that. However, Daily Race has now changed. I jumped into it today, and here we are in the McLaren again because based on the previous race, this McLaren should be quite good. And let's see what the new settings, having to pit, actually does to the race. Now, we've got a mixture of cars in here. We've got Maris there just going to the back, and also in a McLaren, which is good to see. We've got a Nissan. We've got the BMW, which is obviously the meta car at the moment. We've got an AMG ahead of them as well. So lots of different cars now making an appearance with this pit stop. And speaking of which, we've got to an Aston Martin here as we go up here on Bonneville Lane. Through the left we go. They understeer off, same as the BMW Sprint model up ahead. And unfortunately, they're going to lose some places here. AMG goes by, GTR goes by, and yes, there's my McLaren also going by there. So we will take that position. Happy days indeed as we go into this right-hander then. And we look to slow the car down. Now Bonneville looking round the outside. Going to struggle to get that working, especially when the McLaren is here on throttle. This thing sticks like glue to the circuit. No power oversteer at all. I can fly away, which is also good for overtaking, if I do say so myself. It does struggle a little bit in the mid parts of acceleration, but we're going to head towards the chicane then with fights ahead. We've seen crashes here before. Let's see what happens this time then as we go onto the brakes, slowing the car down here as we've got Jagari there on the inside. Shout out to you, by the way. I saw you in Rory's chat earlier, and you said hello and how much I've helped. Well, I'm glad I've helped. But here we go. On the inside of two cars, the McLaren stuck on the exit of the chicane, and we get the move done. 2 for 1. I can't believe that worked. That was unbelievable. But McLaren sticks so well on the exit. It just flies up the inside of anything here. As we go into turn 1 there, BMW wants to turn in, but I was still there. Unfortunately, they misjudged it. And we keep P12 then. So we are working our way up the grid. Lap number 3 then. We've caught up to Brown Banana and Black Star up ahead, also known as Naked Wookie up ahead as we go down here then. And up towards this left-hander. Can we get this car stopped? We do. Oh, well, Brown Banana, sorry, is struggling there. Rear end went on the AMG. It does look a little bit more unstable, the AMG, versus that BMW as looked down the inside. But that AMG is so fast in the mid-acceleration part there. Really, really, really quick. And it's something that we're going to have to see what we can do with, because it just started belting away, even though it had a really bad exit there. So we continue on to the back straight here then. Not much is changing here. We're struggling to keep up with the AMG now as we go to lap number 4, where we do catch up in the corners, of course, especially in the last sector as well. This car is unbelievable, the McLaren. As we go into this left-hander, we just carry a bit too much speed. It starts to understeer and we go off the circuit. And you know the rule here. You go off the circuit too much there with the curbs and you get that 0.5 second penalty. We take the penalty then, And with this now being a mandatory stop, I make the decision right here when this BMW goes past that I'm going to come in the pits because I'm going to get held up trying to overtake again. So it's like, okay, let's try an undercut here. Now, I know lap 4 works. We saw in the previous race with a McLaren, its tyres died around lap 10. So in theory, this should work even better because we've, got rid of a bit of fuel, which adds weight and obviously more tyre wear. We're going to come into the pits here and we are going to change our tyres because that's the strategy you should do now. Pit on lap 4, you can pit lap 5, pit lap 6, even pit lap 7 if you want to, depending if you try and do an overcut or an undercut. This mandatory pit stop has really transformed this race. And it's nice to see Gran Turismo literally took feedback on board there and literally I've changed it immediately. Now we've got Brown Banana coming out of the pits here. Start lap number 6. I was going to look down the inside, can't quite make it work. Didn't quite get the undercut on Brown Banana, but remember I did take that penalty, so we did catch up quite quickly there to Brown Banana. Now as we go through here, we're well ahead of that BMW M6 Sprint model driven by Ryoki there. So we've at least undercut somebody as we continue on in this race. So lap number 8 then coming through here. And we can just see Rory has just come out the pits in the distance there. Of course, you can check out, here he is on YouTube as we go into the right-hander. Brown Banana gets distracted. I get distracted as well by Brown Banana. We all get distracted apparently. But then I do something really stupid. I do this, which at the time I thought that was either really nailed or track limits. But I didn't have dirt on my tyres, so I would argue I nailed that corner perfectly, just a little too perfectly. So I had to take the penalty. I fell behind the Polish driver up ahead. We make a mistake there into the right-hander, so we retake that position on lap number 11 then. And you can see the big battle going on up ahead. I should be there. I should be fighting in that battle. Bit frustrating indeed then. But we can look at catching up here. We are catching up. Lap 12 then. Look at this. We're getting ever closer to it. Rory's in there, Jack's in there, Brown Banana loses their rear end, was in that fight then, struggling now on those tyres, did pit earlier to cover me off potentially, or maybe to undercut as well, here as we head up in towards this left-hander on acceleration, again, just struggles a little bit there, we do get a bit more of a run here, but you can see that EMG starts to catch up very quickly, we get on the inside then, oh, Brown Banana in towards the right we go. We get it stopped here as we continue on accelerating in towards the next part here. I was just turning a bit too early here. Clipped too much of the curve there. A bit of oversteer. And then we continue on out of there. So I lost myself a little bit of time. That AMG coming back at me then as we head down towards the chicane. Looking on the inside here. Last of late breakers there. I thought I was going to touch the grass as well. Didn't quite touch the grass there. Nailed the line perfectly as we continue on. Look at that. No power oversteer on the exit. A lap later then, we're ever closer. We needed one more lap. How many times do we need one more lap here? I think one more lap would have actually been good in this race as well with the mandatory stop, but that mandatory pit stop has really changed this race for the better. Really well played by Gran Turismo and Polyphony Digital for that one. What I'm going to do is quickly jump to the first race I did on the Monday in terms of this after the weekly race guide, because I thought this would be funny to show, actually. It was just a funny moment, and you will get a short of this as well, showing my live reaction. But let's have a look exactly what happens here, because there's always a lot of carnage at Road Atlanta on very grippy tyres, and this week is no exception. We've seen a lot of crashes in this video. There's lots of crashes in nearly every race you will do at this circuit. Somewhere, somehow, there will be a crash. Right, we're going to head up here then in the BMW and in towards this braking zone, then slowing the car down. This is, of course, without the mandatory pit stop, so you're going to see more BMWs in this one than normal as we go down here then. We've got Genesis off up ahead then as we come into this braking zone. As we go through this left-hander, watch what happens next, because it's like I've just parted the sea. Everybody crashes and I go clean on through. 5 places there. 5 places. Actually funny to see that as we go into the right-hander. Lewis tags Ghost then, and we're going to get another place. So up into P10 we go. Ghost around the outside. Not going to quite work here as we continue on through here on the back straight. What we will do, we will go back to that incident, have a look at exactly what happened from a different perspective. We jump on board Ghost then as we go down here. So look at the Genesis up ahead. Gets a bit of rear oversteer there, power oversteer, and going through here, slight contact with the BMW, not sure who that is, as they come back on, and then next to the GTR as we go through this left-hander. The GTR goes off, Genesis gets tagged by Levitius, and yeah, it just all kicks off there, really, doesn't it? But even so, big accident, and they do happen here. It's just a racing incident at the end of the day. As we go into this right-hander, contact there up ahead. I make the decision there. Cicciolino gives me just enough space there. I appreciate that as we make the move and then go defensive into this right-hander. Really hard to nail that, and quite a ballsy move, I would say, by myself. But we made it work. We made it happen, and we're up into P9. However, the reason you didn't see this race in any part of this video, because it's a fantastic race so far, is because of this. Unfortunately, the doorbell went. I look to my right. I see it's somebody I actually needed to answer the door to, and I had to leave. But Hopefully now, with the new settings, with the mandatory pit stop, the BMW is not the only car you can actually use. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. My logo's there for you to subscribe, 2 videos there to check out, including the weekly race guide, and 2 companies there that help me out massively. Fanatec is an affiliate link, so I do get a kickback every time you use that link, and GTME gets a discount code and an affiliate link, so I get a kickback there as well. Big thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.